right, guys, so everybody has seen all of the trailer fires that have been all over Facebook, all of the rumors about lithium batteries starting fires and how bad they are and how everybody's house is going to burn down or everybody's trailer is going to burn down if they don't have them, and you know, all the hysteria around lithium batteries. So I wanted to make a video to kind of outline some of the worries and some of the false statements that are being made everywhere and put everybody's minds at ease, and show some things that we can do to make sure that all of our racing programs are as safe as possible and debunk all the crap that make us feel unsafe that really shouldn't be. The batteries I'm going to talk about the most today are Go Lithium. It's what I run in my car. You know, I know a lot of racers have bought them from us before or have them already. And so you'll hear me talking about Go Lithium a lot. Go Lithium isn't paying me to do this or anything like that. I think they have a great product and I'm supporting them in this video because of that, not because of them asking me to do it or paying me or anything like that. There's other brands out there that I'm sure are just as good as Go Lithium. I just don't know anything about them. So I'm not going to be able to talk about them, and I'm not here to smash on any other brands. You won't hear me reference any other brands in this video in any negative way, and if it comes across that way, it definitely wasn't intentional. The first thing I want to talk about with lithium batteries, everybody puts lithium batteries together in the same boat. You know, when you hear lithium, everybody says, oh, it's a lithium battery. That's not really true. There are several different kinds of lithium batteries in automotive racing, RC cars, cell phones, you know, power storage. I mean, there's tons of different kinds of them. So to say that a lithium battery is a lithium battery is not true. So in race car batteries, I know there's some of them that are lithium ion, and then there's others that are lithium iron. A cell phone has a lithium cobalt battery, so it's a completely different battery. And even though they all have lithium in them, they are completely different. And you know, I don't know how many of you know what thermal runaway is with a lithium battery, but that's what causes a fire, is thermal runaway, and that can happen from several different things. And I'm no expert on lithium batteries. I've just done my own research to make sure that my car is not going to burn down. And with doing that, all of these different batteries have different thermal runaway temperatures and different things that they do when they achieve thermal runaway that have a hugely different result. You know, the temperature, like a thermal runaway battery, and don't quote me on these temperatures, but thermal runaway, like on a cell phone battery, may be like 300 degrees, whereas on a different lithium ion battery, it might be 500 degrees or something extremely different. And the other thing that happens is some batteries, when they achieve thermal runaway, they catch on fire, and that's what you see all these videos on the internet of cars burning down, or e-cigarettes catching on fire, or cell phones burning somebody's leg off. And other batteries, when they achieve thermal runaway, they smoke and they hiss, and they don't do anything other than that. They might swell up a little bit and you know, end up melting themselves down. But when they melt themselves, they do get hot, but they don't get hot enough to combust. So a Go Lithium battery, they have a very unique cell design. You know, the cell is the shape of this battery. So what you see here, this being a rectangle like this is the shape of the cells inside of there. Whereas some of the other lithium batteries on the market, they have a bunch of little batteries in here that are all wired together. There are 18650s, I believe is the part number. Everybody's got USB rechargeable flashlights and things like that. A lot of that kind of items, a lot of those kind of items come with those batteries inside of them, and other manufacturers will make their batteries using those, and they wire them together. So another huge benefit of a Go Lithium battery is that all of these cells are this shape inside the battery, and there is absolutely no wire inside of here. So some of the battery failures that you've seen on the internet are the wires failing, and you know, they'll short out inside of there and do whatever it does to you know, catch a lithium battery on fire. That, I don't know what that is, but you know, that's what you see. So a Go Lithium battery has absolutely zero way of failing internally. The only thing that's inside of here in each one of the cells is there is a little part in here called a cell balancer. And you know, I've seen on a lot of these posts where people talk about lithium batteries catching on fire because of the cell balancing stuff not working right. And a lot of them reference RC car batteries. And to reference this to an RC car battery is the same thing as calling this a potato. Like, they are not even remotely the same. The only thing they have in common is they're both batteries, and they have a component of lithium inside of them that has absolutely nothing to do with the failure of them like that. Some of the other automotive batteries that are out there on the market have other low voltage disconnects inside of them. Go Lithium does not have that, and so that's another point of failure in other batteries. The reason why Go Lithium doesn't put a low voltage disconnect inside of their battery is because there is no low voltage disconnect on the market that is designed to be used in this application that can handle this kind of discharge. So, you know, whether your battery has it or not, I definitely recommend you do the research and you know, talk to the people that you're buying batteries from. I talked to Go Lithium on the phone today for probably an hour, and a couple days ago I bet there was another hour-long phone call trying to figure out why we can say these are the safest batteries for our car. Because, you know, I'm just like everybody. When these fires started happening, I was ready to throw this stuff in the garbage. I've had Go Lithium in my car for this season only. It's a new thing for me. And I was ready to get rid of them because I'm not willing to gamble everything I've ever worked for on saving a few pounds on a battery. And, you know, I started doing other research on 16-volt batteries and stuff, and there's a ton of lithium stuff out there. And it made me think, you know, whose batteries are burning up and why are they burning up? So, you know, I talked to Go Lithium, I listened to what they told me, and I didn't take it from that. I'm not going to listen to somebody's sales pitch on, you know, trying to sell me batteries or trying to tell me why their product is good, because that's their livelihood. That's their job, is to make you feel safe with their product. So I wanted to vet that and make sure that what I was hearing from them was 100% the truth. And in the process, you know, I learned a lot about lithium batteries, and I wanted to share that with everybody to make it to where if you have a lithium battery, you know what to look for to know your trailer's not going to burn down, or for you to potentially save your trailer or your house or your garage or whatever from burning down. You know, I've read a lot of comments on the internet about you know, NHRA racers that are, you know, very well-known racers having their cars burn up. There's a lot of trailer fires and car fires that are speculated to be lithium batteries. We all seen that one that Drag Coverage shared on the internet this week, and that kind of relit the fire with lithium batteries on how unsafe they are. So I felt it was really important to make this video to help you guys be able to know the questions to ask and what to look for in a lithium battery. The only brand that I'm going to say anything about is the Max, I forget, the Max Amp, yeah, the Max Amp battery. That's what was in that car fire this week. I reached out to them, I sent them an email. They've taken down their contact us on their page, so I have a feeling that they're getting bombed with questions and calls and stuff right now, like every other lithium battery company there is. So I don't know what that battery is made out of, but if you're trying to figure out why these fires are happening, I strongly suggest talking to them, because I have a feeling that the information that I'm sharing in this video is going to help you be able to ask those questions with them, and you're going to get the answers that I have a feeling you're going to get, and you'll see more as the more I talk in this video. Another thing that I really want to talk about with lithium batteries is, you know, if you run a lithium battery, you don't have a $12,000 street car with a junkyard LS and a comp turbo or whatever. You have a nice race car and you're trying to go fast, because the point behind a lithium battery is to save some weight. So that being said, there is no racing program out there that should have a lithium battery that you're not doing maintenance, you know, between rounds and every race, and you know, extreme off-season rebuilds and all that stuff. So if you're going to run a lithium battery, it's very important that you add that to your maintenance program. I mean, we all check our valves. We all, you know, check our ring and pinion. I mean, we change tires. We, you know, go through our motor. We put new rods in it. I mean, all that stuff. So don't overlook your battery. It's completely ignorant to not look over every component in your car. And if you're going to run a lithium battery, it's not the same as it was when you were running an old 12 volt from O'Reilly. So that being said, when you are performing maintenance on a car, something that you can do, because remember the first part of this video I talked about how these are all made from different cells. So essentially those cells are batteries on their own, and they're all linked together to create the final voltage. So this battery here, it would have, let's see here, it's got 5 cells in it. So each of them roughly make 3.5 volts or something like that. So if you take one of those cells out, it's almost 4 volts that you're taking away. So now you, instead of having a 16 volt battery, you have a 12 volt battery. So what each of those cells do is they create the voltage that you need. And if one of those little batteries go bad inside of here, the cells, it's going to create more stress on the other ones and also make your battery not perform like you need it to. So you're going to not have the amperage that you need, and you're also not going to have the voltage that you need. So it's really important to check this stuff. And how you check a 16 volt battery, a lithium battery, not just a 16 volt, but any lithium battery, is you charge it and you use your charger until you get 100% capacity. You take the charger off and you let it sit, any amount of time is fine. I mean, you can let it sit 5 minutes, check your voltage between your posts, and watch it, and it should still read 16, 16.2, whatever. And then let it sit 4 hours or overnight or whatever, and check it again, and your voltage should not have dropped very much, if any. I don't think they drop anything with that. So then what you're doing by that is you're going over your battery, just like we do on our cars when we check all of our bars, make sure nothing's broken or whatever. You're checking to make sure that each one of your cells are still performing like they're supposed to. And that way what you're doing is you're eliminating failure, but you're also potentially eliminating a catastrophic failure like what we've seen with these batteries, because the low voltage disconnect that some manufacturers boast that they have in their batteries is a failure point. And what that does is it makes it to where you can't run the battery dead. I mean, we've all went through that with like the first lithium batteries when they came out. They tell you that they have memory and all that stuff. That's not true anymore, and I don't know why. I don't care to get into that. But those low voltage disconnects don't happen in these batteries, so what you have to be careful of is not to run them dead, because these cells will reverse polarity. So if that happens, there's ways to get around that, but once that's happened, your battery needs to be sent back to the manufacturer. A lot of guys, if that happens, they'll stick their charger on it. It'll say that it's bad, that it won't charge if you're using the correct charger. And so guys will use somebody else's charger that doesn't give a crap if you're hooking it up, to a welding rod or another battery. It's not a smart charger. It'll jump start that cell and it'll reverse the polarity back to correct. But once that happens, your cell is damaged, so it needs to be replaced. So in order to do that, you have to send it back to the manufacturer. They take the top off and do all their work inside of it, and return your battery to the the correct build. So my point of that is, if you're going to use a lithium battery, you need to use it correctly. These batteries right here, these Go Lithium batteries, are not as unsafe as others can be, but they're still a lithium battery, and lithium is a combustible metal, so we have to treat them as such. So one of the tools that you use when you are running a lithium battery is a charger. This is a Go Lithium charger, and if you're running a Go Lithium battery, or Turbo XS or Braille or whoever you're running, you need to run their charger. Like, it doesn't matter if you want to get more amperage out of another one, or somebody's got a cooler sticker or whatever. You need to run whatever sticker is on that. You need to have that on here too, like the same brand charger, the same battery. And the reason why is because everybody has their own ways of building their batteries, and they have their own deals built into here, and then if they don't have it here, they have it built into here. And all of the functions are very essential in making sure that we are running our charging system or battery system as safely as possible. They all tell you how much it's charged, and then they have this fault indicator on a Go Lithium charger, and I think all the other ones do too. But what that does is, if you have a burnt cell in this battery and you hook this charger up, it's not going to let it charge. And so if that happens, you need to look at it as, hey, there's something wrong with my battery. And in my trailer, I carry 2 chargers, because you know, just because this thing says this battery's bad, I'm not gonna be like, oh man, you know, I gotta put a different battery in my car. A charger is really easy to swap out and try. So, you know, carry a spare charger too. This is a tool. We all carry spare spark plug wires and rocker arms, and, you know, hell, even some of us carry rods in our trailer. What is a cheap battery charger? Put another one in your trailer, and, you know, I'm sure you guys are like me, we'll drive off and drag the cord off of the dang thing, and you know, so you have a spare one for that too. But the main point of all that stuff is whatever manufacturer you're running, you need to run their system. Don't mix and match. And you know, I learned a lot of this week by doing my own research. My other car that I was racing, that green Camaro I had, it had a Turbo XS or some other 16-volt battery in it. And I myself was running my Go Lithium charger because that's what I had when I bought the car. And knowing what I know now, I would never do that. And you know, I suggest that everybody does their own research and make sure the information that I'm telling you is correct, because I'm not an expert. You know, I don't know anything about batteries. I've learned more this week than I knew my whole life. I mean, I'm not an expert by any means. My point in sharing all this with you guys is to make sure that you guys educate yourself, and you know, anybody running this stuff, I hope that you can learn what I've learned by doing your own research and not just off of what I'm telling you on this video. You know, because I'm sure there's other great products out there besides Go Lithium. I just don't know them. And Go Lithium, I got set up as a dealer for them, and we've sold some sets. And when these fires started, I started getting bombed with phone calls and text messages and Facebook messages about, you know, if these batteries are safe or not. And I didn't have a way to answer it. I mean, of course, talking to my customers or my friends or whatever, I want to be like, oh yeah, no, you're fine. These batteries are safe. But I didn't know that. So, you know, I set out on a mission to educate myself. So hopefully, you know, some of my talking can help educate you guys. You know, so definitely do your own research. You know, something else that I see that I think is very important, I talked about it a little bit on the internet on some posts and stuff, some of you might have seen it, is fire extinguishers. You know, it's fire suppression systems for our trailers and stuff. I think that's a great idea. I'm going to add a fire suppression system to my trailer because, you know, I think that with as much money as we have in our programs, I think everybody should have it, because you never know what's going to happen. I mean, something could be out in my trailer right now and catch on fire and burn that down. And if that happens to me, I can't afford to replace that stuff. And I'm sure most of us are the same. I mean, I'm not going to gamble my ability to race off of, you know, saving $1,500 on a fire extinguisher system for my trailer. But that being said about Go Lithium or any lithium battery, it needs to be known that if you're running this battery, you need to know that an ABC fire extinguisher is not going to put a fire out if this is burning. It's made up of lithium, and lithium is a combustible metal. So an ABC fire extinguisher, I don't think it will do a damn thing to this if this is on fire. So you need to get a Class D fire extinguisher, which I don't have one yet either. That's something that I'm going to look at. I know they're very expensive, but I think that as these become more popular, you know, if you guys work at a racetrack, or, you know, maybe you own a racetrack or a performance shop or something, I think everybody that is around a lithium battery needs to look at having a Class D fire extinguisher. Racing is evolving. We've all seen how much it's changed. Even, you know, the last 10 years is crazy. And I think having a Class D fire extinguisher is going to become a lot more normal in our world. So definitely look into that. There's other options out there for lithium fires. If you guys are at a racetrack, or, you know, run a racetrack, or, you know, have any ability to have an input on, you know, like a water truck or whatever for fires at a racetrack, there's a foam called F500, and it's an encapsulating agent. And you can look that stuff up on the internet. I'm not going to sit here and talk to you like I'm an expert on it, because I'm not. But I do know that F500 is you know, very efficient at putting out a lithium fire when used in a water system. It only takes like 3%. It's really neat stuff. It absorbs a lot more heat out of metal. So at racetracks, it would be awesome to see you know, fire trucks there use something like F500 that can be good on a lithium fire. And then also I feel like that's something that would be better if any car's on fire, whether it's lithium or not. It's a pretty cool deal. So that's another thing that, I think as our race cars evolve, our safety needs to also in our race cars and at the track. So hopefully some of the tracks can hear this or get told about it. Check out F500 and use that in your fire trucks. Let's see here. So the last thing I want to talk about in my notes here is all this false information on the internet. The bad part about it is, everybody likes to go on Turbo Bullet, and I catch myself doing it. You see some guy post a question up, and you think, oh, I want to answer this, and I don't know why humans are wired that way, but we all want to put our input in on questions or where people are talking about stuff. And with lithium batteries right now, the internet is on fire with false information. I mean, we all see it. I myself, I'm horrible about it. I get involved in it. I see somebody post something stupid, and I want to jump on there and cut their head off and tell them what an idiot they are because they're spreading false information. But I hope this video helps some of those people that have talked about how lithium batteries aren't allowed on airplanes, or how every fire has been a lithium battery fire and all that crap. I hope you guys read this and do your own research, because you can figure out how to debunk these using your knowledge, and not because Timmy Bob down the street told you that a lithium battery won't burn your car up, because there are batteries out there that are very unstable and will burn your car up. So he's not wrong, but here's how you can debunk it. What I worry about with this stuff right now is a lithium battery is a really good way to save weight on your race car. We're all looking for that edge. We're all trying to save weight, and it's new technology. And for us to keep growing and racing, there has to be new technology. So if the wrong people see all this negative stuff about lithium batteries, about how unsafe they are and stuff, such as like NHRA or IMCA or IHRA or whatever, they're going to ban these batteries, and that hurts our racing industry. Not only are there companies out there that feed their families by making these batteries and being innovative and growing this technology, but we all want that. I know the more competitive heads-up stuff like Pro Mod or Radio vs. the World, everybody's looking for 5 pounds here or 3 pounds there, and this is by far the cheapest weight savings that you can buy once you get to that level, if you don't have it already. So before you post information on the internet, I hope that you guys can do your own research on this topic in particular, and if you think that lithium batteries are the devil, read about them, and you'll see, because I did forget to talk about one part of a lithium battery, and why it's important to do your own research. So not all, but a lot of the batteries out there that are lithium batteries are made up, they're a lithium ion battery. And I mean, like I said in the beginning of the video, there's tons of different lithium compounds, and they all have their own characteristics and instability and all that stuff. That's a whole lot more scientific than I know. So do your own research. But, Go Lithium, to my knowledge, is the only battery on the market. It's the only one that I could find, and I know that some of this is proprietary. And I talked to Go Lithium about this, and honestly, I can't believe that they let this information out, but it literally says it on their battery, so there's no way around it. These batteries right here are made of lithium iron manganese phosphate, and anybody can look that up on the internet. If you have a Go Lithium battery, go read your label. It's right here on this little white sticker. Go to Google and type in lithium ion manganese phosphate, or type in Google, is lithium ion manganese phosphate explosive, flammable, whatever word you want to put on there that it means fire. Google that, and Google will pop up a little thing at the top that literally says that these batteries will not catch fire or combust. So that goes back to the point that not all batteries are made the same, because other lithium batteries, we all know, we've seen the fires. I mean, there was a video of literally a car battery burning up, and we've seen cell phones and e-cigarettes and all that stuff burn people's bodies. And So that excludes these from those types of experiences, and I think that's really important because it just shows you that these are a safe battery, and any other battery made with lithium iron is going to be a safe battery. Not to be confused with lithium ion. That's a completely different thing, and I don't know anything about all that stuff, but you know, Google lithium iron versus lithium ion, and you can find out a whole bunch of information about that too, about their main differences. You know, talking with Go Lithium, you know, I'm really impressed with them because their target wasn't to make the battery that is going to turn your car into a dang arc welder if you need it. Their main goal was to make a light battery that performed like it should and did everything we need them to do on these race cars, but is safe. If you talk to them over at Go Lithium, you know, they say the word safe multiple times, and that's really important to me because that's what we're all after. We're after going faster than the guy next to you, having a safe program, and winning races. I mean, that's all that matters. So by them being so focused to safe really makes me feel better about it because they're not trying to make the highest performance battery they can, because there are better performing batteries as far as output is out there. But Go Lithium looks at it as, hey, we made a battery that is going to do exactly what we need to, and is going to run, you know, MSD, Holley, Fuel Tech, whatever. It's going to do everything that we all need it to do, keep the voltage right where it should be, but it's going to be safe. And I think that's really important. So do your own research. You know, feel free to message me. I mean, I'll share whatever, you know, information I have. If you have questions or whatever, I can make sure I answer it. And if not, I mean, I'll tell you, because like I said, I'm not an expert on this stuff, but watching the world of lithium batteries crumble on the internet sucks. And you know, it was really stressful for me before I educated myself. And I mean, I had to leave town when all this was happening, and I was like, man, should I call somebody and have them go take these batteries out of my car because I don't want it to burn my shop down, when it's completely ignorant. So you know, do your own research, call me, message me, whatever. You know, I definitely suggest calling whatever manufacturer you run. The guys at Go Lithium are a world of knowledge, and you know, I'm sure they would be more than happy to, you know, share their knowledge with you, even if you haven't bought a battery from them. You know, I can sell you a battery. I'm definitely not making this video for Go Lithium or me to sell you a battery, but you know, I definitely recommend these off of my own research because they're very transparent, and you know, they make a safe battery, and the other companies aren't as transparent because it's too hard to find that information. And I haven't talked to them, so I'm not slamming them in any way, but you know, you can find all the information I told you on the internet. So I think it's really important too to touch base on the battery's construction. You know, Go Lithium, you know, this is the battery I have to show you guys. I know for sure this one has a burst panel built into it. So if a Go Lithium battery reaches thermal runaway, which thermal runaway is it's basically when they're exploding, like your battery is about to blow up. And even these lithium iron manganese batteries, even though they can't explode or combust, they can still reach thermal runaway, which thermal runaway is when they're hot and, you know, the lithium isn't happy and it's getting ready to explode, and these still will explode if the housing won't let it vent. So Go Lithium built a vent, or like a burst panel into here, and then also they have vent holes out of the bottom, and you know, I don't know if the burst panel is really on the side of these. Don't quote me on that. If you need to know that, call Go Lithium, but I know for sure that that's what these holes down here are for, is these are vents. So you know, the video that we all seen on drag coverage where that car, you know, all of a sudden starts smoking and then it bursts into flames and all that crazy stuff starts happening, that battery's reached thermal runaway. So if this battery were to be in that same exact scenario, whatever caused it to reach thermal runaway, you know, whatever the reason was, if it were to be a lithium iron manganese phosphate battery, for one, it wouldn't catch on fire. Like, these do not create fire when they reach that point. And then also, if it were to be at that point and be a Go Lithium battery or another battery with a case that is built with a failure into it or a vent, All this battery would do is maybe swell up a little bit, and then it would burst and start blowing some smoke out of it, and you know, it would get hot, but not fire hot. It would get hot and make a whistling sound out of these vent holes down here on the bottom. So you know, these batteries are not going to catch your car on fire, but they still are made from lithium, and lithium is still volatile. But that goes back to what I talked about a little bit earlier in the video, is using the right components, because this battery here is UL listed and UN tested. So that's all kinds of tests, and I don't know what all it is, but you know, they shove rods through them, they overcharge them, they undercharge them, they do all this crazy stuff to them. They try and make them explode to make sure that they won't. And you know, you have to have that in some environments. Race cars aren't one. So I think it's really cool that there's companies like Go Lithium out there that go through the steps to get their products tested to make them pass that. And I don't know, but I would bet that you know, having this burst panel and these vents built into it are part of that. So what that does is it makes it to where it's a safe battery, even if it's treated misproperly, because this battery is not going to reach thermal runaway and blow up and kill your family or whatever, unless it's mistreated. And even then, this is such a safe product, or you know, this is such a safe compound, as the lithium iron manganese, that I think you know, everybody needs to follow companies like Go Lithium and you know, make their batteries out of this stuff, and not lithium ion or lithium cobalt or whatever all that other crap is, because that is the stuff that will burn up and catch fire. So you know, that being said, back on the chargers, talking about thermal runaway. So you can look up that fire extinguishing agent I talked about, the F500, and they test it on lithium batteries, like out of Teslas or whatever they're out of. And how they make them reach thermal runaways, they hook a charger up to them and they charge the living heck out of them, and they start swelling, and then they smoke and do all this crazy stuff, and then they burst into flames, and they spray them with F500 to show how great that stuff is. So by showing that, you know that if you have the wrong charger on your battery, you are creating the potential of thermal runaway with your battery. So you always want to use the right charger for your battery, and I'm not saying that there's not a battery out there or a charger out there that you can't use on a Go Lithium or XS or Braille or whatever. They'll probably work just fine, but you're not using the charger that's paired with the components in this battery. So that's really important. The other thing that is very important to know about batteries, and lithium batteries in particular, is this is a 16 volt battery. You know, there's other 16 volt batteries out there that aren't lithium, and this right here is a 16 volt battery that is made for a lithium battery. And or it's a 16 volt charger, I'm sorry. Where they're different is a lithium battery charges so much more efficiently than a lead battery that the chargers are completely different. This is a 10 amp charger, and this will charge this battery in about 20 minutes, which is, you know, if you hook a 10 amp charger up to a lead battery, I mean, it's a trickle charger. We don't even look at that like a big battery charger. So don't ever hook a big charger up to one of these when you got to make it between rounds, or you know, whatever you're trying to get it charged up for. If it's dead in the trailer and you're trying to get it out, these are the chargers you need to use on your battery. Whatever charger comes with your battery or is sold to be paired with your battery is what you need to use. And that's the main reason why is, you know, these are 10 amp chargers because these are made to be charged at that rate. And, you know, Turbo XS might be 15 amps or 8 amps, or Braille might be something different. So that's why it's really important to charge it, because these batteries are designed for the charging rate that comes with your charger, or vice versa. So thermal runaway, even though it can still happen with these batteries, these are the ways that you eliminate it. And you know, the lithium iron manganese is also a lot more stable in a hot and a cold environment, so than other forms of lithium. So I think it's also important to know that when choosing what battery you're going to run, because high heat, like I don't know if these things can sit out in the sun and reach thermal runaway, I don't know, but I know that by doing my own research on lithium iron versus the other lithiums, that these are the most stable in a high heat and an extreme cold environment. And definitely call Go Lithium and ask them about the batteries that they left out in the winter and stuff. I mean, that right there, they had some batteries that froze for, I forget the entire story, but a couple of years without being charged, and they still work, and they didn't explode or anything like that. So it's a huge testament to what lithium technology can do when it's done correctly. So definitely do that. Don't let anything I say about thermal runaway, especially with Go Lithium, because these are the lithium iron manganese batteries. They can reach thermal runaway. It's not very likely. I don't know how many times it's ever happened. I know there was one where there was a guy with a car that had crashed and his bar smashed down and crossed these two posts, so dead short of the battery, and that caused the battery to fail, reach thermal runaway and all that stuff. And the only reason they found it is, I think his trailer was smoking. It didn't catch anything on fire, didn't burn up his car. I think it might have hurt the wrap that was over the top of that panel or something, but he just crashed his car. So I think it's really important that everybody takes their battery out when you crash your car, and he didn't do that. So I mean, there was the first fault, and it was just a chain of events that they could have caused something bad. But because this is such a safe product and such a safe way to build a battery, it didn't happen. So definitely do your research on all that stuff, and don't let me talking about thermal runaway scare you away from a lithium battery, because me talking about it probably is a whole lot more scary than if you do your own research and realize how rare that is and how unlikely it is that a battery built in this manner is going to do that. I asked Go Lithium what would happen if their battery reaches thermal runaway, which thermal runaway is when lithium gets unstable basically and starts the chemical reaction or whatever it's called where they're burning up. So just a little bit ago in the video, I talked about how a lithium iron manganese phosphate battery cannot combust or explode. They can still reach thermal runaway, and they can still be, they can still reach that point where it is a reaction, which fire is a reaction. So it's real similar to what fire is, where it's creating its own heat and gas and smoke and all that other crap, because these batteries will still do that. And one of the ways that they can do that is, by overcharging or, a dead short or something like that. So what this battery has that is really awesome that they've done is there's a burst panel built into here underneath all this stuff, to where it's designed that if it reaches thermal runaway, it's going to swell, and once it swells and makes any bit of pressure, there's a little burst panel that goes, and it can blow the side out of the battery. And then also on the bottom, there's these holes, and these are vent holes. So the worst thing that this battery is going to do when it does that, instead of exploding, is it's going to release that gas and smoke, and it's going to make a really loud whistle sound, and it might get a little bit bigger, because this is just a plastic case around some other batteries inside of here. Because like I said, this is made out of different little cells or batteries inside of here. So it's another thing to look for when you're looking at a product is ask them, ask whatever brand you're running, what happens if your battery reaches thermal runaway. And by you asking that, you'll be able to tell by their answer what kind of product it is, because there's manufacturers out there that are in China that make these batteries, and it might be I don't know, some Chinese person over there in China selling these batteries on Alibaba or whatever, and some of these brands that we trust, they might be buying these batteries off of Alibaba and smacking their sticker on it and selling it to you. So if they can't answer those questions to you, you need to look at a different brand, because anybody that's selling you a product should know every single aspect of it. You don't want to buy something that's private labeled that the guy down the street is importing for you and you're smacking your sticker on and selling it. I think it's really important that you guys ask those questions for that reason. So make sure you guys are doing that part. And once again, thanks for watching. And in the comments on this video, I'm going to post this on YouTube. It'll be shared on Facebook. Just make sure that if you guys have anything that you want me to touch base on, if you want me to do another video on this or or whatever, make sure that it gets to me. If this video is shared by somebody else, make sure that you message me or comment on my post of this video or on the YouTube video, and try and get your questions answered as quickly as I can. Thanks for watching.